take a quick minute, under a minute, to talk about L&T, if I may. If you could just put up the stock of L&T. So the block deal essentially happened this morning. I mean, so right at pre-open. The books shut at 8 a.m. today. The books opened for subscription yesterday evening, shut at 8, and then, of course, the deals would have been executed. SUUTI, the table will tell you where SUUTI, important shareholder. SUUTI is the third largest shareholder, by the way. LIC holds 16.5%, L&T Employees Foundation 12%, and SUUTI 8.2%. The book said that they want to sell up to 3%. But 1.5% is what they were selling, and upsized to 3% if there was enough interest. Now, the point I'm making is it's not clear if they've been able to sell 1.5% or they've been able to sell 3%. I just spoke to Nimesh before I came in, and he's been working the phones as well, and he said, well, it's not clear. The point is, if it is 1.5% and not 3%, the signal to the market isn't going to be all that great. Provided the fact that it's not as if SUUTI was offering a big discount or anything. It was only about 2% to yesterday's closing price. But even then, for a stock like L&T, institutions buy because they can buy large quantities without moving the price too much, right? That's also one reason why they subscribe, even if the discount is not too attractive. So if they're only selling 1.5% and not 3%, I think the signal to the market broadly is not all that great. Somebody I spoke to in the market said...
Is it an inability to sell?
Look, it would
or
be
lack of demand?
It would be read like that, right? I mean, if there was enough demand, why wouldn't they be able to sell more than 1.5%? Maybe not all 3%, but more than 1.5%, more certainly.
That's definitely a sentiment dampener.
The other point is, I also heard that LIC is a prominent buyer in this entire transaction.
There's hardly any appetite.
So, you know, as they say, the government is selling and another arm of government is actually buying. It's a government-owned institutions. Rules also specify, as far as I can remember, LIC's individual security exposure can be only 20-odd%. Right? They're at 16%, right? So 16.5%. So, you know, will they go to, if they go to 1.5%, can they do more? And the other concern which is going to come about is LIC can buy now, but the general sense is, given prospects for L&T, and numbers, by the way, are on the 22nd of November, they can slowly start selling in the market, right? So it doesn't look very well for L&T at this stage. Government, of course, if they're able to sell 3%, that's about 7% of their overall fiscal the divestment target for financial year 17. But for L&T per se, given the numbers are also in 2 weeks' time, I don't think it bodes very well with this kind of transaction.
You know, there's a larger overhang. Until now, either because of investor prodding, the government was not selling L&T and ITC shares. They were only selling Access shares from SUUTI. The big argument was, oh, it's a defense company. I mean, Tata Power is one of the biggest defense companies. That's not held by the government. Reliance Defense is getting all those Dassault and frigate orders. That's not held by the government. This logic never washed. It quite clearly was pressure groups not allowing the overhang on the stock. But now it's come. So for me, it's in a larger term, a good news. As far as
the process has started.
Absolutely. I mean, there is no business why the government should be owning tobacco companies and L&T. If they have to sell the family silver at some point in time, this is as good a time as any. But immediately, it is going to mean continued overhang for L&T because now the tap is open. Government has said, we don't think this is holy cow. We can sell a defense stock.
And they've got more coming. By the way, just one more thing. The offer document I read through in detail, it's like any other offer, which means that SUUTI and L&T can't sell for another 180 days.
Okay.
So that's another 6 months or so, right? For in the case of L&T.
That may be temporary reprieve from
from L&T perspective, yes.
Absolutely.